Hi everyone, and welcome back to Growing Up in Scientology. So it's been a couple weeks since I put anything up. I was sick for a little while and then things got crazy and I just had to catch up on stuff. So I'm back into it now. So what I'm going to put up is actually short clips from the long, well, it's 5 hours of interview that I've got posted with me and Mike Rinder on the channel. And what happens is I get a lot of comments and questions that are actually answered in those videos. And I usually have to refer people to those videos, but then I have to go through the videos and pull up the timestamp of where the answer is. And I figured, you know, it's probably too much to expect that the average viewer of this channel has watched all 5 hours of the interview with, or the conversation really, with me and Mike about growing up in Scientology. So I'm gonna pull out like 5, 6, 7 minute segments of specific questions and post them as their own standalone videos. And the first one that I'm going to do has to do with the subject of whether it is possible to believe in a single supreme being God in Scientology. I've had a lot of conversation and debate about this in the comments section. I'm pretty adamant that the answer is no, you cannot. However, Scientology does have it set up in a particular way where there's kind of a plausible deniability where they can kind of get away with saying, no, that's not true. And there's this great section where Mike and I discuss this subject. So the way I'm going to break this out is there's a section in the video where Mike answers the question about, can you believe in God in Scientology? And then we get off on a slight tangent and we start talking about Louis Farrakhan and Reverend Alfredi Johnson and one other subject. And then I answer the question. For this first clip, I'm going to release my answer to the question. And then following that, I'm going to release the full 20-minute clip. Okay, because if I include Mike's answer and then our in-between section and then my answer, it's like a 20-minute clip, and that kind of defeats the purpose of me having small clips I can refer people to. But the whole conversation is very interesting, and I think is going to be enlightening for some people who wonder about this subject. So my clip will be, I think, 5 minutes or less, and then I'll release the full 20-minute clip, and then I'll move on to other standalone subjects. And I'll just be throwing these up in between the other videos, the subject videos, the Q&A videos, and the How to Speak Scientology's videos. All right, guys, here you go, the clip on Can You Believe in God in Scientology. Enjoy.
So let me give my answer to this question. You know, it's funny, about a year ago, I was involved in a conversation. It was with several people, and my mom was included. And she said something to the effect of, in her whole time in Scientology, she'd never relinquished her either belief or thought or that the possibility that there was a supreme being. And at the time, I said she was lying. I called bullshit. And you know, I've spent a lot of time since then thinking about, like, how could that be true? Like, in what way could it be possible that someone could be in Scientology for, you know, 30 years or whatever, and still believe in a supreme being? And I guess based on some of the things that you said, it's possible. You never sat down and told, you can't believe in God. And actually what we might want to differentiate here is the difference between believing in Jesus as the Savior or any prophets or anything. There's definitely material in Scientology that says, like, Jesus is not real, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I'm not aware of anything that specifically says God is not real.
No, there is nothing.
But so let me explain why growing up in Scientology, it never occurred to me in a million years that there could be a God. People who believe in God, there's a dynamic there of somewhat of a subservience. If God exists, then he has a plan. People differ in their beliefs on just how much he micromanages that plan, or whether you should try.
Fourth quarter touchdown.
Or whether, because there is a God, you should even try to direct the course of your life. There's different beliefs in that. But there's still at least some level of belief. And in Scientology, there is no quarter given whatsoever to some external influence having any impact on your life. It's you. It's you. It's always been you. It'll always be you. And you know, there's something in Scientology called is it the axioms that says in the beginning there was a decision? No, it's not is it the axioms?
Factors.
The factors. I should know that. There's these I think there's 10 factors, maybe there's 12, it's something like that. That's sort of Scientology's true spiritual origin story. And it's not really a story, it's just 10 items. You know, in the beginning there was a decision, and the decision was to be. That was like the first factor, right?
Right.
Now someone could say, well, that decision could have been God. And you go, no, not the way the factors are written. That decision was Satan's, collectively. Whether a single unit or a multi-unit, you never really know because it's never really dictated.
Right.
But if there's a God, okay, in Scientology, it is believed, it is taught that Thetans, collectively, Theta, created the physical universe.
Correct.
But if there's a God, then God created Thetans. And Scientology never says that. It's kind of an important step. Either God created Thetans or he didn't. The way the factors are written is kind of like, no, Theta just sort of spontaneously decided to exist one day. Well, that kind of sounds like God, but it's not said that it's God. And if Scientology believed in a God, it would just be said. God created Theta.
Right.
Okay, so I guess the most important part of that answer is, to me, growing up, I always felt that anyone who believed in God also believed that God had some sort of effect on them, and Scientology does not allow for there to be a God that has an effect on you, so therefore, by extrapolation, there is no God. And that's why I was just so...
You are far too logical.
How did I stay in for so long? Okay, so that's my answer.
All right, I'm going to see if I can get this right. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, click here. If you'd like to watch the previous video I uploaded, click here. And for some other random video on the channel, click here. And hopefully that works. Bye.